All right, Rocky Top Insider postgame show. This is Ryan Shumpert. I am Rick Butler, standing here in the Food City Center. Ryan, I think I'll start with the immediate question that's on everyone's mind. What did you think of Nico
Yeah,
Iamaleava's injury status for tonight? Well, maybe we'll get into that at the end of the show
that was
here.
well done. You started that, and I
You
said, if
knew
this
it.
is anything other than Nico, I hate it because that is a depressing question
It
tonight.
is. It's what we even on our basketball tweets tonight on RTI. We still had people coming in saying, "When does the injury report come out?" We just want to know about the injury report. So a lot of people focused on that. You can go over and find that on the website. Until then, though, while that injury report was unfolding, Tennessee got a 92-57 win over Montana. A little bit slow in the start. Tennessee having some turnover problems, certainly in the first half. Only carry about what was the halftime lead? 9-point lead
Yeah,
at halftime. But man, things really got going in the second half for the team.
yeah, I'd say really even back it up, things got going late first half. I mean, Tennessee was up by two. I guess at the under four timeout,
Yeah.
or right after. I think maybe Montana hit a free throw, so it might have been a little more than that. But Tennessee ends the first half on a 9-2 run, and then opens the second half on what I think was maybe a 13-4 run as well. So that little stretches where they took control of the game. Not as simple as this, but the guys Ziegler and Chas Lanier both missed a lot of time in the first half due to picking up two fouls. I think Lanier was around 9:30, Ziegler around 8:50 or so. It was a 2-point game then, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like Tennessee had some huge lead, but I think that kind of slowed Tennessee down, and it was actually at the under four timeout when Ziegler checked back in the first half, and Tennessee started to push its lead back out. So another strong game for Tennessee offensively, and I think a lot of individual performances that were pretty good tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Last time we did this from here in Knoxville was Tennessee's season opener. Talked about one of the star transfers that Tennessee brought in, Chas Lanier. He led Tennessee in scoring on that night. It was a different transfer that did it here tonight on Wednesday. And that was Igor Milicic Jr. A nice little box score for him right here. 6 of 10, so 60% shooting from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds for the double-double, 18 total points, 5 assists, and a whopping plus 34, which led
Wow.
Tennessee in the plus-minus. So he was efficient tonight. He got to a shot. He found what he wanted to do. What did you think of Igor tonight?
Yeah, I think it was the best game he's played at Tennessee for sure. Which 3 games in,
Yeah,
not a shocker or some sort of
but
wild
raised the
statement
bar for himself a little bit here.
for sure. I saw a lot of what heard about him in the offseason when I saw the handful of times we got to watch practice, which was a guy that could hit open shots and it could also put the ball on the floor and score. And he did that. I mean, his pump fake it was really good tonight,
Yeah,
especially after he knocked down a couple shots in the first half. I think the thing that maybe I hadn't seen as much from him that really stood out to me was just the way he facilitated. Second half, he only scored 4 points, but he had 4 assists. Just a really complete performance, it felt like, for the Charlotte transfer.
yeah. I thought this was certainly a game where you could tell that he was really kind of getting more and more comfortable as the
Yeah,
game went on. And to your point, not that it was all scoring as the game went on. He erupted for, I believe it was 12 or 14 first half points, whatever it might have been. But you could tell that he just kind of found his game as the game went on. And that's big. He's got a little bit of that Euro basketball to him. I think that is certainly a fun style for people to watch. But was able to back it up with the points and the rebounds tonight, double-double.
for sure. And I mentioned Tennessee going on to run when Sakai came in. Really, it was Milicic who made a lot of those plays. Milicic, I should say. First one was real impressive. I mean, drove to the basket. The help defense was there. Pump fake got him. The defender in the air and finished, and then hit a transition three. I think the next possession, or maybe 2 possessions later. So, really strong night. And I thought it was a strong night for transfers as a whole. Obviously,
Yeah.
Darlington Dubar still didn't play, despite doing some stuff in practice the last 2 days. But Felix Alpara was solid again, a good second half, and then Chas Lanier battled that foul trouble in the first half, but we came out in the second half and hit a couple quick threes, which helped Tennessee really balloon that lead.
What did you take from maybe the things to work on category of this game? Obviously, we mentioned at the top of the show, Tennessee had 13 turnovers on the night, which I believe was a little bit better in the second half than the first half. I can't remember those totals as well. Montana didn't do a great job of scoring off those turnovers, though. But what about you? What did you see?
Well, I think you're right. It was a tale of two halves with the turnovers. Tennessee turned it over 9 times in the first
There
half,
you go.
which
That's
was
the number.
a big issue and a big focal point coming out of the first 2 games where Tennessee had turned the ball over more than Rick Barnes would have liked. So I think it's continuing to stay sharp there. Zakai Ziegler was better, only 1 turnover for him tonight, but Felix Akpara had 3 turnovers. Just as a whole, Tennessee wasn't always completely crisp. I didn't think Tennessee's defense was great at the jump. I'm sure that'll be something they want to iron out. But as a whole, I thought it was a pretty well-rounded performance, a pretty good performance. and more good than bad for sure. Which you expect them to win by however many points it was, 34 or whatever.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think, when you're talking about these games, I know some people are always going to be wanting the utter domination of a game, and that wasn't really what it was in the first half, but that's okay because this is a team that I think can really use those moments to learn from and grow from. And then you saw Tennessee really put it together in the second half there, kind of balloon the lead out a little bit. Again, it went from a 9-point halftime, not deficit, advantage to a 35-point win for Tennessee. So certainly they were able to clean things up and continue the momentum going in the second half. But great learning moments for the team. I think they're still getting their feet under them a little bit. But, hey, not much more you can ask for at a time like this. Want to get better with each game.
For sure. Yeah, really crisp in the second half. J.B. Estrella had some good moments in the second half. I thought Cam Carr, besides 2 defensive possessions in the first half, played really well tonight. Cade Phillips, not quite as good as he was against Louisville. Bishop Boswell, too many turnovers, but overall did some good things when he was in. So Tennessee got deep in its bench tonight, played a lot of guys, a lot of young guys. Felt like they did some good things, took some step forwards, and it feels like every game we get going, the transfers get a little more acclimated, get a little more comfortable, and continue to maybe not their role expand because their role's been big from the start, but their production go up.
Yeah, they emptied out the bench a good. I shouldn't say emptied out the bench. That includes some of the players the walk-ons that you never see, but they got their guys in rotation early and often this game.
Yeah, for sure. And I think everybody besides Darlington Dubar, as we previously said, didn't play, probably played at least 5+ minutes, if not 6, 7.
No, you're right.
Minutes.
Bishop had the Bishop Boswell had the least of the night at 7:46.
Yeah, so they got a lot of guys some meaningful run, and a lot of those Bishop minutes were in the first half when Zakai was dealing with foul trouble too.
Tennessee very good from the free throw line tonight, 21-25. That is that's a big positive sign for this team moving forward. Again, I don't know if you'll need those free throws here in the early part of the season. Tennessee does have a tournament coming up here soon, but that is certainly an optimistic thing to see here early in the year. Tennessee hitting their free throws.
Yeah, shooting just as a whole has been good. Tennessee shot over 60%.
Started the game phenomenally.
Yeah, I think they made their first
6 straight shots.
I think 6 straight shots. I think 7 straight possessions they scored because they got to the foul line on one of those. I'm not 100% sure of this because I can't remember Gardner Webb, but I think Tennessee shot over 40% from 3 in their first 3 games, which obviously a good sign. We talked about after the Indiana game when they shot poorly. They were expecting to be a good 3-point shooting team this season, and that's been the case so far in the regular season.
42.9% from Tennessee behind the arc today, 9 of 21. So certainly able to hit those shots. All right, anything else before we kind of wrap this up? Again, a little bit of just kind of I think you wrote it in your headline. Just kind of, what was the word you used?
I can't remember.
Just kind
Toast,
of,
maybe,
yeah. And that felt like a Wednesday night non-conference game. Tennessee was able to get things going more in the second half, but kind of just cruised to that victory. Anything else you got on the game from today?
No, nothing today. Austin Peay on Sunday afternoon, and then you mentioned that they go down to the Bahamas next weekend on Thursday and Friday, where it'll face Virginia in either Baylor or St. John's.
There you go. That is what is coming up for Tennessee. Again, big weekend with Tennessee playing Georgia on Saturday, and then basketball playing right here in Knoxville on Sunday.
Who's to say which game is bigger?
Who's to say? I don't know. I think I'll defer back to the original part of the question that we had. Any thoughts on the status, the questionable status? I don't think a lot of people are too shocked by that.
No, it's what I expected. So no surprise on Nico's status tonight on the availability report.
You can go and check out everything that we've been talking about today over on RockyTopInsider.com. Be sure to be following Rocky Top Insider on all social media platforms as we continue covering the football season, the basketball season, everything that is going on during this crossover time of the year. This is Ryan Shumper. You can follow him at rshump00. I am Rick Butler. You can follow me at Rick_Butler. Otherwise, Tennessee gets the win over Montana tonight right here in Knoxville by a score of 92-57. We will see you back this weekend. There's a lot to get to, but we will have it all covered. Thank you very much for listening to the show today. Have a great night.